So the August 2020 FMGE exam scared a lot of people, including me. But not that much, because I have a way going forward with this. Hey there, I'm Subhav Ramnani, the guy who's mad about medicine just like you. If you're new here, then make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking the button below, and also follow me on Instagram where I post some amazing medical content, some interesting quizzes, and exciting challenges and giveaways. You can find the links to all of this and everything else mentioned in this video down in the description box below. So let's go. So as you know, I have some videos about PrepLadder on this channel because I use it almost every day. So PrepLadder has been kind enough to sponsor this video, so this is a big up for this channel. So thank you for liking all these videos and subscribing to the channel, because this has made the channel go up in a big way. So coming back to the topic. So this August 2020 FMG attempt really scared a lot of people, like really. And the reviews were not that great at all. Being a foreign medical student myself, I have to clear this exam, so I was right on top of the news. So what to do about it? Let's start with this. So let's first address the problem students often complained about. Number one, the question is too long. Sometimes the question stem was about 7 to 8 lines. Now this is because most of these questions were clinical based questions. Example, like a patient presents to you with fever and neck rigidity, and you have the diagnosis and etc. And then the question is in the last line. So these questions ate up most of the time and took too long to answer. The second problem was that these questions often tested the concept rather than the factual knowledge which we are used to in these FMGE exams. These were not one-liners, these were actually some lines which asked you more about the concept rather than the rote memorization which you are used to. So how am I planning to address these problems? About the clinical questions. Actually, I'm happy these are clinical questions, because you see, in a MCQ question which is one line, it's a hit or a miss. You either know it or you don't know it. There is no like you can eliminate 2-3 options, or maybe you can, but you have so less hints in one line. But when it comes to clinical questions, you have 7 to 8 lines of just the question stem. It has the age of the patient, ethnicity, lab diagnosis, the presentation, so it gives you a lot of hints. So even if you have no clue about the topic, maybe you can eliminate 2 to 3 options and come to the answer. So it actually helps to narrow down your margin of error, but it takes a lot of time. I can understand we get 1 to 1.5 minutes for each question, and if each question has 7 to 8 lines, it's gonna take most of the time to read the question, so we need to be pretty quick. So what can we do to address this problem? For this, the only thing we can practice is practice. Yes, practice like grand tests, mock tests, championship tests, or whatever test. It's testing yourself regularly. So because I have PrepLadder and I use it almost every day, I will continue to use the same platform to give the test too. Actually, PrepLadder has, I think, a grand test or a mock test for FMG on every 4th Wednesday. So that's like having one grand test for sure in your pocket once a month. Now this is, I think, the bare minimum when it comes to grand tests, because you actually need to test yourself at least once a month. That's the minimum. If you want to do more tests, that's awesome. But bare minimum of 1 is absolutely necessary, I think. But it is of no use if you don't follow these 2 things. Number 1, you give the grand test, but you don't review it and relearn the concepts that you missed. Now this is very critical, because you will give the grand test, you will maybe feel sad about the questions you got wrong, and then just leave it. Now what's the use of giving the grand test? Okay, you got yourself an analysis of where do you stand, but how will you improve yourself? For that, you need to review the concepts that you missed in the grand test. Now usually in grand tests, at least on PrepLadder, they give you an analysis of what subject you aced in and what subjects you missed. So analyze yourself that, okay, I'm weak in anatomy for example, so I'll give more time to anatomy and not to medicine because I scored pretty good in medicine. So it's very important to relearn and review these concepts, and before the next grand test, you'll be able to answer all these questions which you missed in the previous one. So point number 2 is that there is no use if you just give the grand test once. Now consistency is key here. You have to analyze yourself with the help of grant tests and keep giving it again and again to improve yourself. You will see where you stand, and eventually after giving many grant tests, you will be familiarized with the pattern and you know how to answer which questions and how to eliminate the options even. So coming further, what is the solution for the problem number 2? The problem number 2 was that these questions were most conceptual based and not rote memorization or factual knowledge based. So how do we tackle this? Now when you do your grant test and when you give your grant test, you analyze it. So you see, okay, I'm weak in, for example, again, anatomy. So rather than rereading those notes again, I think watching videos would be better, because in videos the teacher is trying to explain you the concept and not really just telling you the factual information. Obviously they tell you the factual information where it is due, but they focus more on you understanding the concept. With notes, that's less of a possibility, because with notes you tend to focus on, okay, I need to remember this, I need to remember that, and you have a pictographical memory or something like that. But with videos, all you do is understand what the teacher is trying to say. So to answer these conceptual questions, I think it's important to revisit the videos of the concepts we are weak in. And how will we know where we are weak in? By giving grant tests. So the main point here is to give the grant test, analyze yourself, and then improve. So how often to give the grant test? At least once a month. On PrepLadder, it's on 4th Wednesday of every month. On other platforms or anywhere you can take the grant test, but at least give it once a month. You have to analyze it and then improve on it. If you don't analyze or improve, there is no use of giving the grant test. Well, I hope you found my plan helpful, and my strategy and planning will hopefully be fruitful for me and you in the future. If you gained anything from this video, then don't forget to give it a like, and if you absolutely loved it, just smash that subscribe button. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay mad, but just about medicine.